It's the WALT Pod, Championship, Game Week 1, prediction time. Right, I don't want any crying in the comments if we pick your team to lose. There has to be a winner and a loser, and sometimes there has to be a draw. That is just the game of football. But joining me tonight is my partner in crime, Mark Ryman. How are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. A little bit of a lottery, as it always is on the first week of the season, but we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, well, we discussed there's no form to go off, so we're just going to have to wing it, won't we?
I'm certainly used to doing that in my life.
Well, before we jump into these predictions, just a quick shout out to our audio partner, Blackstar and Carry On, who make sure that we sound great. All these fancy toys, these lovely headphones, and a great microphone. And also a big shout out to our sponsors, the Record Shop in Amersham. If you're a record collector, why not go check it out? They have tons of vinyl. They also have musical instruments. But let's get on with these championship predictions, should we? If you're watching on YouTube, take a second, like the video, check out all our other content, and subscribe to our channel. There'll be tons more championship content and also Luton Town content, because after all, we are a Luton Town podcast. Right, so the first game we have on the slate here is Blackburn Rovers versus Derby County. How do you see this one going, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, we both put both of these teams quite low down in the table, and I'm assuming that Smodics will be there on Friday. I don't think he will be there by the end of the window, but that for me means that Blackburn edge this game purely based on their attack with Smodics and Dolan versus Derby County's slow-ish defence. So I've gone for a 1-0 to Blackburn for that one.
Oh, you've gone tight. So I've gone 2-1 to Blackburn. So we're both going for a home win here. I do think Derby will struggle throughout the season, really, if they're relying on James Collins as well. Like we discussed it in the championship prediction, I believe. I don't think James Collins is really cut out for the championship, but Derby County, they've made some good moves. I like the transfer of Ben Osborne. I think that's a good one. But to be honest, I think for the first game back in the championship, it is a fair step up from League One. And I do think they could struggle. So 2-1 for that game for me. Next up, Preston North End versus Moneybags Sheffield United, who are just splashing the cash, making tons of signings. Harry Suter has just been announced as well. And I think they're going for Alfie Gilchrist too. So lots of new faces to bet in there. I've gone for a score draw 1-1. Preston North End, Sheffield United. How about you, Mark?
I'm going for 2-0 to Preston North End because I think this is one of those classic first gamers. Preston started last season very well under Ryan Lowe. And I think Sheffield United are still going to be reeling from their poor form last season. Despite the fact they have made some excellent transfers, they still do have Chris Wilder in charge of them. So 2-0 to Preston for me.
They have made excellent signings, but as I said, they take time to bed in. So, you know, it could be a slow start. You're right. Next up, Cardiff City versus Sunderland. I've gone for an away win, 1-0 Sunderland. A lot of people have been saying Sunderland will struggle this season, but I do think they will have enough to see off Cardiff this season. This game week even. How about you?
Yeah, another tough one to call. I've got 1-1 for this one. I think that, again, it's the unknown of the new Sunderland manager coming in for me. Cardiff aren't known for lots of goals either. Willett's going to open his account already first game of the season, and then end up getting absolutely huge amounts of goals before the end of it. That's my punt for the season. So 1-1.
Oh, that's fair. And Hull City versus Bristol City up next. Where do you sit on that fence?
Yeah, again, they're pretty close in my league predictions. I put Bristol winning this one away at Hull. Again, Hull have had mass overall this summer, lost a load of players, really important ones in midfield, and replace some of them. And for that reason, it's going to take them a long time to get to know each other well enough, I think. So I think Bristol City will win this one 2-1.
Interesting. So I've gone Hull City 1, Bristol City 1. Not really based on anything other than the fact I just think it'll be a slow start for both teams, especially with Bristol City. Liam Manning ball. I just think it's one of those where the players need to find their touches, really. And it might not click straight away, or I could be wrong and it'll click straight away and they'll absolutely blow Hull away. But I've gone for a 1-1 draw. And then next up, Leeds United versus Portsmouth. And now Leeds, we both put first in our prediction when we predicted the table. And we both think that Leeds are going to absolutely walk the league this season. I think this game against Portsmouth is going to have shades of that Luton versus Peterborough game from, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, where we absolutely blew Peterborough away with a Fred Onyedinma super class. It was fantastic.
Onyedinma masterclass. Yeah.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it? But his best performance in a Luton shirt. So for that reason, I've gone for Leeds 4, Portsmouth 1. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible to predict anything other than the Leeds win. I have a feeling we're going to be predicting Leeds to win a lot of games this season. It's hard to see past them, especially against a new league promoted side. So I've gone 2-0 for all the reasons that you've kind of said already, especially at home. I can't see anything other than the Leeds win.
Well, that low scoring, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, next up we have Middlesbrough against Swansea. Now, where are you on that one?
Yeah, so again, I think it's tight at the start of the season. I think Middlesbrough win 2-1. I think their attack's excellent. And if they get firing like they did towards the end of last season, they're going to be a real handful in the Championship against a lot of sides. But I also see them a bit like us, conceding quite a few goals as well. So 2-1 for me to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I've also gone for Middlesbrough 2, Swansea 1. I do think Middlesbrough will gain a lot of momentum as the season goes on. That is just how Carrick operates. They tend to be quite streaky, go through a very poor patch, and then go through an absolutely ridiculous patch, which is, averaging 2 points a game, promotion form, really. Right, next up, Millwall versus Watford, a game that pretty much no one wants anyone to win. I think it will be an absolute dross game that, all the fans are going to be very disappointed watching. I've gone for Millwall 1, Watford 0. What about you?
I think we have very similar views on this game, and I've gone for even more boring 0-0.
It's just going to be painful to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Millwall have got an excellent defence, but nothing going forward, and Watford are terrible in all areas of the pitch, so 0-0, I think.
Yeah, right. Next up, Oxford United versus Norwich. Now, this is an interesting one because Norwich have new people behind the scene as well as a new manager. Who knows if it'll be cohesive? They were a different beast under David Wagner. He knew how to, get them prepared. Obviously, they've also lost Gabriel Sara now, so who knows how that's going to impact them. Oxford, the same with Portsmouth, it's going to be a step up for them, I feel. I think Norwich will have enough, so I'm going for a 2-0 Norwich win. By you?
Snap. 2-0 Norwich. Yeah, I think obviously the loss of Sara is huge, but they've still got some excellent players and people like Sargent, and they'll be too strong for Oxford, I think, on that first game. But you're right, it is an unknown. But hopefully we'll see them play a bit more exciting attacking football this season.
I'm going for a Jack Stacey double in that game.
That is an ambitious one, definitely. But yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, Jack Stacey wearing the number 3 shirt. What is that about for a right back? So weird.
Disgraceful.
Yeah, game's gone. Game's gone when a right back is wearing a number 3.
Yeah.
Right. QPR versus West Brom. Where do you sit on this one?
Yeah, I found this tough as well. We did our predictions a few days ago, and since I predicted West Brom to finish second, they've sold like half their squad, so that's looking great. I put 1-1. I think we both agreed that QPR are going to improve this season, so I think it'll be a really tight game, this one, especially at Loftus Road. Yeah, 1-1.
Same here. I've also gone for QPR 1, West Brom 1. I think QPR are, as much as it pains me to say, I think QPR are sort of on the way up under the new manager. West Brom seem to be on the way down with, all the assets being sold, like everything's going. Yeah, so I've gone 1-1. Could be an interesting game, I reckon, but it'll be a very open game. Right, next up, Stoke City versus Coventry City. For this one, I think Coventry are going to be the dark horse this season. I think they're going to start strong as well. They've looked really good in pre-season. So I think Victor Johansson, the new Stoke City goalkeeper, is going to be tested a lot. And I think he's going to have a great game. And I think it's going to be 3-0 Coventry. And it should be 7-0 Coventry.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page again. So we both predicted Stoke to lose by 3 goals. I've gone 4-1 Cov. Exactly the same reasons. They've got one of the best attacking lineups in the league, one of the best managers as well. And Stoke will do what Stoke tend to do, which is to really struggle and then just get themselves into mid-table towards the last sort of quarter of the season. So yeah, 4-1 Cov for me.
And next up, Sheffield Wednesday taking on Plymouth Argyle. Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle. I've gone for Danny Roll, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle 0. I feel Plymouth are going to struggle all season with Wayne Rooney at the helm. He doesn't convince me as a manager. It's one of those where he is literally trading on reputation. I'm very sorry, Plymouth fans who watch this. I know you all think Wayne Rooney is the one, and Wayne Rooney will establish you in the Championship. But his track record just isn't good. It really isn't. His best season came in that season when Derby were deducted 21 points, and he rode the siege mentality. He really did. But I think Sheffield Wednesday will be very decent this season. So 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, similar, but I've gone for 2-0 Wednesday. I think, as you said, I think Plymouth are going to struggle under Rooney for the reasons I said in the last pod. Its best win percentage is about 26%, with Derby at its best. Danny Roll's one of the best managers in the league as well. And they bought a huge amount of players. So again, it might be the case that they need to bet in, but at home, first game of the season, lots of positivity around the club, 2-0.
Okay. And the final game, Luton Town versus Burnley. What are your thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, I don't want to make a habit of predicting us to lose games, but and I know that you shouldn't read anything into pre-season or too much, but let's face it, we've got one fit centre-back as things stand in Tom Holmes, and we're facing a Burnley side with probably the best squad in the league, certainly one of the best attackers in Foster. So I think that Burnley will beat us 2-1, and I was almost tempted to say 3-1 in this one. So yeah, I'm going 2-1 Burnley. I hope I'm wrong.
So unfortunately, I've got the same process here. I've got the same scoreline as well. I've got Luton Town 1, Burnley 2. I have seen enough from pre-season to see that defensively, the way we're going to play is going to be very open at the back. We're going to concede a lot of goals this season. I hope we score a lot of goals this season as well. But from what I've seen, we will struggle to get it into the attackers. But Luton Town as well, we are notoriously slow starters. We always have been. So I'm not really too fussed about that. So yeah, I've gone Luton Town 1, Burnley 2, which is a real shame. They do have the squad depth and they have a relatively settled squad as well, even with James Trafford agitating for a move away. Right, that was all the picks for this week. So, Mark, if I had to tell you to pick one lock for this week, one game that you actually are backing to be a certain win, nailed on, which one are you going for?
Coventry City for Stoke City 1. I mean, maybe not that exact scoreline, but I cannot see anything other than a Cov win.
Yeah. So my lock of the week would be Leeds against Portsmouth. But I think Coventry is a good shout as well. I think Leeds, they're going to be so strong this year. And poor John Mousinho, he's not going to know what's hit him in that game.
A really tough old start, isn't it? We thought Middlesbrough were tough on the first game when we were in the Championship, but Leeds away. Portsmouth have got a really tough few fixtures to start them off.
Yeah, they really do. Look, if you enjoy content from the We Are Luton Town podcast, please like this video. It only takes a second and it really helps our channel. And subscribe to our channel if you like Luton Town content, such as a podcast specifically focusing on the Luton Town ladies, as well as opposition views from opposition podcasts. And subscribe to our channel. Also, a quick shout out to our audio partner, Blackstar Amplification and Carry On. They make sure that we sound absolutely great. Also, a big shout out and thank you to our sponsors, The Record Shop in Amersham. If you like vinyl, they're the place to go. Go check them out if you're ever in Amersham. Thank you very much for watching this video. And as always, come on, you Hatters.